Do you think Harry should carry on fighting for his father's forgiveness, or do you think King Charles should accept it is time now to bury the hatchet? Let's kick off with you, Daisy.
Well, it sort of comes back to our last chat, doesn't it, about your relationship with your parents, particularly if your parents are getting on a bit. And he is getting on, the King is getting on a bit.
And having treatment for cancer.
Which he's been undergoing for a year. So I mean, the first thing to say, which might be a statement of the bleeding obvious, is everybody would like to see them, I believe, reconcile. I think, we would all love that. But at what cost to them, I suppose? The King is a monarch. He's very busy. And I feel like it should be Harry that reaches out. If he is constantly reaching out and he's facing a brick wall, then I do have sympathy with that. But of course, the trust is broken.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, in Spare, one of the things that Harry did was write about private conversations and private moments and, what the King, then Prince Charles, said when he put him to bed or when Harry's mother died. And these are private things. So I suppose, Afua, the King might feel he wouldn't even want to risk speaking to Harry in case it suddenly appears in a Netflix documentary or something.
And I can understand that would be a fear that he has. As Daisy so rightly said, the trust is broken. But I think especially after, what we've seen in the past 18 months or so with the King undergoing cancer treatment, health is the greatest leveller, right? And I just think after everything that's happened, it would be so wonderful to see a reconciliation with King Charles and Prince Harry. Prince Harry, remember, was in London. He had his court case, Prince Harry versus the Home Office, about his security. And there was a crossover period where Prince Harry was in the UK before the King left to go to Italy on the state visit. But they didn't manage to see each other then. And I think there's a real shame. There's lots of missed opportunities here. Yes, the trust is broken, but I do think that if Prince Harry is reaching out to King Charles, then King Charles would do well to try and foster the reconciliation. There's fault on both sides, quite clearly, I think. But I think that it should be, if Prince Harry is reaching out, then King Charles should respond. But these are only reports, aren't they?
I'm only positing a theory. I have no insider information about this. But could it, although I have had a few people kind of sort of tell me this, I don't know if it's true though, could it be that, as we know, the King is having cancer treatment, and we know that only last week or the week before he did have to go back into hospital because it was really having an effect on him, and we don't quite know what the effect was, but he had to go back into hospital that day. Could it be that he feels, or maybe Queen Camilla feels, that if he were to see Prince Harry, it would be so emotionally exhausting, it might turn into a big old bust-up, who knows, I don't know. Maybe he's being advised, don't see him now.
I've heard those stories as well, and like you, I haven't been able to stand them up, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Now, just because it makes sense doesn't mean it's true, but people who are undergoing treatment for cancer, who have cancer, are told, do try to keep your stress levels as low as possible. Easier said than done when you're the King,
the monarch,
and you're in your late 70s. But yes, I have been told that Camilla has said publicly, the King is a bad patient and doesn't do what he's told. And I think what she means is he does too much. He does too much work. We know he's a workaholic, so we know that she does try to stop him doing too much, and it stands to reason that one of the things she might stop him doing is meeting with a child who has certainly upset him. We know he's a very sentimental person. We know that about him, and that the public, public disagreement will have upset him deeply. So yes, that makes perfect sense to me.
He has to kind of protect himself from a possible meeting. Maybe. Let's ask Caroline in Devon. Hello, Caroline. What do you think? Should Harry pursue this, or should the King be the person who instigates it?
Harry. 100%.
Right, and what if what Harry's saying is true though, when he's saying that he is trying, but he's not getting any feedback or any information about the King and how he's doing?
Well, the saying, you've made your bed, lie on it.
I mean, I know the saying, but it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Not with his case. He has slaughtered his family, right? Now, put that aside for 1 minute. He's then publicly put it on a book and slaughtered him again, the whole family. So, he's wrong.
Well, he's wrong, but nevertheless, you know, he's the king's son. He's you know, and we know there's tremendous amount of love there because we know that the king, for example, called him my darling boy. I mean, absolutely adored him, didn't he? And very probably still does, for all we know. I think maybe that's a little harsh, Caroline, but maybe lots of people will agree with you. Let's talk to Marie in North Lanarkshire. Hello.
Hello.
What do you think?
How can one open dialogue to resolve a breakdown in a relationship if there's a legitimate betrayal? Harry has betrayed his family and is still doing so. He's not ready within himself to forgive or be forgiven. The king probably feels it's unsafe to speak to his son. Everything he says will be broadcast abroad according to Harry's mindset. And he's not in the right mindset.
But what do you think, though, in terms of...
between a rock and a hard place.
But what do you think about, you know, forgiveness and the fact that I would like to believe, anyway, that people are capable of change and, you know, maybe Harry is genuinely worried about his father's health. Let's assume he must be. And, you know, maybe he would be ready to move on and maybe give us some kind of guarantee saying, you know, anything we say is a secret. What do you think?
Well, on your first point, Jesus said to forgive your brother, except it be for due cause. The king has due cause. Harry, I would like nothing better than to see them because we all loved Harry.
Absolutely.
We all love the king. But Harry's not in the right mindset.
He might be moving toward...
Hey, Royal Squad, welcome back to the show. Let's get one thing straight right off the bat. Prince Harry does not owe anyone an apology. He's a son, a husband, a father, and above all, a man who has consistently shown more grace than the entire tabloid press combined. And yet here we go again. People debating whether he should be the one groveling for forgiveness while King Charles plays ghost? Really? Look, we've heard the arguments. Harry betrayed his family. Oh, please. If telling your truth and standing by your wife is betrayal, then the bar for loyalty must be in the basement. These same voices conveniently ignore the fact that Harry has repeatedly reached out to his father. He literally flew to the UK while Charles was undergoing cancer treatment. And the king left for Italy. No time for his own son? That says everything. And let's talk about this tired, trust-is-broken excuse. Yes, Spare was raw. Yes, Harry spoke about his life, his truth. But why are we acting like Charles is some helpless victim in all this? The royal institution fed Harry and Meghan Sussex to the wolves for years. And now that Harry's holding up a mirror, suddenly it's too stressful to talk? Please, and don't even get me started on the pearl clutching over Harry possibly sharing conversations. You want privacy? Maybe stop leaking stories to the Daily Mail first. Because let's be real. Harry's not the only one with a microphone. He's just the only one brave enough to use it with integrity. What's most disturbing is how the public keeps being manipulated into blaming the victims. Meghan was hunted, Harry was vilified, and yet somehow they're expected to fix the broken relationship. Come on now. That's not how healing works. If the king wants peace, he needs to act like a father, not a palace. Enough with the excuses, he's too emotional, he's too tired, he's too busy. There's always time for family, unless you've decided they're no longer part of your royal image. And to those folks still yelling, Harry made his bed, let him lie in it. We hear you, and we raise you this. Harry made a stand. He chose love, and we will always stand with him and Meghan Sussex for that. So if you're tired of the gaslighting, tired of the media's nonsense, and ready to ride for truth and dignity, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to tap super thanks to support what we do. We are Royal Sussex Squad, and we always stand where the light is.